Hello everybody and welcome back. In this lecture we're going to focus on the camera position in our scene. Now you may already have the camera pointing directly at the object and all you need to do is render out. But as we can see here there are a couple of issues. It's firstly badly lit and secondly it's not even in frame. We can't really work out what it is. So there's a couple of things that we need to do first with the camera to make sure that we can render something out successfully. Let's go have a look now and hop on over to the camera settings in Blender. Hello everybody and welcome back. Right, let's get rid of our cube. I'm going to press the X key and delete it. I'm going to add in Suzanne. Suzanne the monkey, because we need to make sure that we've got a direction to our object just to demonstrate that we are in fact moving around it. Okay, so now that we've done that, let's have a look through our camera. How do we do that? Well, we can go to the view menu, cameras, active camera, or number pad 0. Now, at this particular point, you may say, yeah, that's absolutely fine. But look how little Suzanne is taking up of our frame. You can see here that when we're in camera mode, you can zoom in and out, but the framing does not change at all. So how do we change that? Well, there are a couple of ways of doing it. If we go to our outliner and left click on camera, we will select the camera and you can see the camera now has an orange border. This means we can go ahead and either transform its location, or indeed we can open up the properties panel of the 3D view and change its location. X will move it along the X axis, Y along the Y, and of course Z on the Z axis. Now when it comes to X, Y and Z with rotation, it can be a bit more confusing because you think, well, that's not rotating the way I thought it was going to, and that's because it's just pointing a different way. If we scroll down this, what we can also do is lock the camera to view, which means that as we move the view around, the camera moves along with it. I do not like this personally, and I don't use it. A lot of people love it, but I don't, because I always forget to untick it. And I go and rotate around my view expecting to come out of camera mode, and I end up moving the camera. And sometimes it can be a real pain because you've set up the camera deliberately in a very, very special position. Let's say we're here and we move it along the Y-axis so it gets closer. Oh, let's make sure I click the right one. So we get Suzanne there. We move it around. We go, yeah, that's perfect. And then I go and think, oh, I need to do something else in the scene. Boom. And I've ruined it. And you can't just do undo all the time and get back to where you were before. We can see it's taken us back to some point, but not exactly where we were. However, my favourite way of navigating around in Blender in general, and especially with the camera, is to go into first person mode. Now, you can do that with Shift and the character next to the 1 on your keyboard. If you don't have access to that, and it won't come up on my screen capture, my keys, you can go to the view menu and go to navigation, and I'm going to have to scroll down a little. There's walk navigation there. If you want to set it to your own shortcut key, you can right click and assign a shortcut. I'm not going to do that at the moment, or you can add it to your quick favorites, which is probably a better idea. I am going to add it to my quick favorites, and we'll get to those quick favorites later on. So I'm going to go Shift and the number next to the, the key next to the 1 key, and now I can move around as if I was in a first-person shooter. So I can press W to go forward, S to go backwards, A and D to strafe, Q and E to go up and down. That's really quick at the moment. I'm going to use the scroll wheel to calm it down a little. There you go. And this is a very easy way to manipulate our scene to get it looking exactly how we want it to. There are a series of other options whilst in first person mode, and you'll notice at the very bottom of the screen there are some shortcut keys that show. So you could press the space bar to zoom into a certain area of your model. Very useful. You can turn gravity on and off as well, which is always an interesting one. I'm not going to do it at the moment because all I will do is fall, because there's no ground underneath. But it does give you the ability to walk around buildings if you do that, which is quite cool. But I'm happy with that view of Suzanne. And now if I go ahead and press F12 to render, we notice that we've got her looking pretty swell and not cut off. Now, before we move on to your challenge, you can also go into the camera view by just clicking this camera icon at the top right of the 3D window. I sometimes forget that's there because it's brand new, but that's another way of getting in. In fact, all of these controls, I've said this before, are brilliant if you're on a laptop because you don't always have the controls that you do when you're at a full desktop with a full-blown mouse with a scroll wheel and a full-size keyboard. Okay, now it's time for your challenge. Okay, so your challenge, I'd like you to go ahead and position the camera so that it frames your model or scene well. Now don't worry about getting it absolutely perfect at this stage, just make sure you can see what you want to see of your model. Secondly, feel free to alter your model or your scene if they aren't quite right yet. I know that I'm going to go ahead and alter my scene and make the ground plane a bit larger, but if you do spot something with your new framing, of course go ahead and alter it. And finally, remember, you can move it again later, so we're not setting a final position here, we're just setting it up ready for our first render. So go ahead, pause the video and give that a go. Okay everybody, welcome back. Let's go and hop on over into Blender and set up our camera. Okay everybody, welcome back. Right, the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and open up my file that I want to work with. Okay, so now that that's there, I'm going to press the 0 key to see what we can see, go into first person mode, and I'm going to come round this side and probably a little lower down. Make it look a bit wider. I'm going to position it over here. That's looking pretty good so far. I'm liking that. Now, the ground itself, I want it to go out of frame. So I'm literally just going to scale it up until it forms a horizon in the distance. That's absolutely fine in this case. Now I can think about carefully where I position the camera in relation to the horizon. Because that does change things slightly, because obviously if the horizon's there, that gives a completely different look to it than if it's up here. In fact, this is a great way of testing a view for a game if you think about it. If you've got the viewport set up, well, is it a top-down game like this? Is this the scale of your model? If it is, then you probably wasted your time with all the detail that you can't see. However, in this case, I'm going to fly back round. Oh, make sure you're in the camera mode when you start flying, otherwise you're just literally flying around the screen. Okay, I was trying to use a shortcut there from an old version of Blender, but there we go. I'm going to set it up like that. I think that's a relatively good framing of my model. It's set up on one side. We can see the detail underneath, the detail on top. I quite like that. I hope you've managed to frame your subject really well, and in the next lecture we'll learn how to light our subject. Just a basic 3-point light setup. And I'll see you in the next one.